Happy Sunday evening, everybody, and welcome to the Nana Boss Continuum. And tonight, finally, I had an excuse to get Shane Carpenter back onto the show and Randy Harrington into the chat. So let's, without any further ado, we are going to just rock it out and start right now. And you guys just put your comments up and I'll just be putting them up during the show and we are going to get this show going. All right, everybody. Welcome to the show, Mr. Shane Carpenter and Miss Marianne Ziebell. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
I am so excited that you guys are here tonight. I mean, I've been dying for the show, dying for this expedition and conference. I mean, how did you guys even come up with this concept? Because no one else is doing it. So
that would be me. That would be my bright idea.
Well, talk about it. How'd that happen?
Well, last year was the first time we had a conference. Mm-hmm. And I was actually at an expedition in Kentucky. And I kept hearing people talk about going to conferences. And I'm like, do we have one in Missouri? Do we have one? I don't think we do. And that's how it took off. And I, was like, okay, we need to do something about this. I came home, found out, no, there wasn't anything going on. And so I started looking around at people. And I had watched Shane's documentary Into the 400 and knew he was local. And so it was funny. I knew a girl that her dad knew you, Shane. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, back and forth, we finally talked. And like the first night we talked for like 3 hours. That's what we do. That's just what we do. And he finally agreed to participate last year. And last year we just did a conference. And so I started talking to him this spring and I said, I want to do an expedition and a conference. And he was like, okay, what do I need to do? I said, lead it. You're going to lead the expedition this year. So we just kind of, things fall into our lap and we're just rolling with them.
Those are the best kind of plans, right? When it's like divine timing happens and you're just like, this is supposed to be,
Exactly.
Like, those are the ones.
Yeah, me and Randy, she asked us to speak last year. I was reluctant. It's not my thing. Speaking is not my thing, I guess. But Randy was, excited about it, and Randy kind of got me more excited about it. And we thought, here's somebody that's willing to put her own money up and take a chance on it. And she asked us both to speak. We should do it, because it's local and, for a lot of reasons, really. Mm-hmm. And so with the way everything went last year, we were really happy with it, and we became friends with Mary. And like she said, our conversations can get too long sometimes. It's hard to get off the phone with her. She just won't shut up sometimes and just keeps going and going and going. And her husband
right.
yelling, like, get off the phone, and give me
kind of like what happens when you and I get on the phone. We get on the phone and we're like, it's 5 hours, Shane. I think we better go.
Right. So anyway, when she mentioned wanting to do a camp out this year, me and Randy got excited, and me and Randy have been on this kick for the past year or so about just kind of letting everything that we're involved in happen organically. And that's the way this kind of worked out also. So it just felt good, felt right, and so we have a second property that we research on when we have time outside of the 400. And so I talked to the property owner, and basically we were able to offer up this research area that we go to, and where we've gotten a lot of decent, really good evidence at times. Mm-hmm. And so it's really kind of the perfect place. It's the perfect setup to have a camp out. And at that point, it was like, here we go. We have this property. We're good. We can use it. And Mary said, okay, it's happening. So we've just kind of been working together, planning that as best we can. It's we're trying to make it bigger and better. It's and I just want to put this out there it's her conference. I'm just really involved in helping, and because Mary's okay and a decent person.
She's okay.
And we want it to be successful. It's local, and so we just want to help out in every way that we can, and make it bigger and make it grow, and really bring this subject to light here, especially locally,
Yeah, I don't think that's what people don't understand, actually, how much activity is actually in the state of Missouri. It's going on all over the place and has for a long time. And I think the last time that I looked, as far as the BFRO, Missouri's ranked number 5 in listed sightings. That's not even all the sightings that aren't listed out there. So it's like, we have a hot spot here. Let's take advantage of it. And the other thing is no other conferences do a campout / expedition at the same time. So we're going to try to do things differently. And we're all about teaching, researching, sharing. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah. To me, that's that. I mean, when Shane kind of laid it out to me, I was like, holy cow, like this is every researcher's dream in all actuality. I mean, to come and be, to learn the boots on the ground research, how it's done, and how to actually navigate some of the obstacles that we have in the field. I mean, just learning just little things is really, really special. And we just don't get that to learn from people like Randy and Shane. It's just it's unheard of.
For us too. Like, I'm sure me and Randy are going to pick up some things from people also. There's other good researchers that are going to be there and be involved also. And so it's also an opportunity for me and Randy to get some of these people around us, because me and Randy don't do a lot with other people, so this is a good opportunity for us to pick up little tips and little tricks here and there also. So it's not just about us teaching kind of what we do. It's, we're willing and looking to learn too. And it gives some of the newer people an opportunity to get a lot of information in a really a relatively small amount of time. And as far as the campout goes, we're really excited for it. Me and Randy are going to actually be out on the property. We'll be there Monday and Tuesday alone, other than Mary and her crew, her batch of misfits coming out and
isn't that the truth?
I say that with love. I say, because I'm a misfit too. So me and Randy are going to get out, and we're going to do a little preliminary stuff and get some. The property owner has been kind enough to cut a few trails. There's not much signal as far as phone coverage goes out there. So there's an area up on a hill where there's phones where you can get phone service. So he's cut a trail up there. And he's, helped work some trails through some areas that we need to get through to make it easier, because this is a no trail property for the most part. And so he's been helping out a ton, but so we'll be there doing some preliminary stuff. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we have was supposed to be 6 people. It turned into about 10 because we had so many people put in for the extended camp out.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful.
So we got,
Yeah.
so we kept it down to 10. And these people are going to get out earlier than everybody else with us a couple days ahead. And we're really going to be just like focused on hardcore research because we have less people, you know. So we're going to be literally, me and Randy are just going to be doing things, you know, like clockwork, like we normally would do if we were just out there by ourselves. And so these people get the opportunity to just come in and like get busy and get into the thick of it with us and do some of the little more hardcore stuff that you can't do when you have more people there, you know.
Right.
And then Friday we've got another batch of people that are coming in, and you're included in that. You and Krista
and Brandy. Yeah, me, Chris, and Brandy will be there. Yeah.
And so they show up Friday morning, and Friday night we have dinner with the speakers out at the camp, and the speakers are going to be there. They're going to be camping also. And Saturday we'll all get up and we'll be doing, you know, stuff throughout the evening and whatnot, research wise and stuff. And then Saturday morning we get up, we all go to the conference. After the conference, we all head right back to the property, and we go in Saturday night, Saturday afternoon and Saturday night, and we research more. You know, basically it'll be late into the evening. I'll probably be up most of the evening until, you know, maybe till sun up.
Yeah.
Just to get some good time in. But it's going to be great. It's going to be a great time. Mary, everybody that's doing the camp out, Mary is put up all the food. She's supplying breakfast and dinner. She has, you know, camp cooks that'll be there doing that. And she has food for lunches, but lunches are kind of, you know, do your own, make your own. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, it's a little different because the camp out starts before the conference, and it's a little different situation than in like a state park where people come in and camp at the campgrounds and you know, go hit the trails. This is a little more hardcore. Like, you know, we've told everybody, if you have snake boots, wear them. Bring bear spray. Bear don't typically come on this property, but we want everybody to have bear spray, you know, just in case. It's going to be probably a little more hairy than what a lot of people are used to, you know, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun and exciting.
Yeah, after you've scared them all to death now.
Well, I'll just tell you, I'll give you a kind of a list of things that we found out there.
Yeah, do it. Let's hear it.
So we found there's an area out there where at the top of a holler where the holler begins, all the trees are pushed into the holler, and it creates like a giant igloo almost of trees. And on the top side of it was an opening. It was like a giant hut almost. You could go up inside of it, and, you know, it was all open inside. And found tracks out in front of it. We've had there's a common thing that happens is there's cedar trees that run across one side of this ridge. There's a break in the ridge, and the forest changes on the other side of the ridge after this break. So one side, there's a lot of cedars, and there's commonly cedars be broken off at 6 foot. And if you stand in the direction it points, you'll see another one 50, 60, 70 yards up, and they'll lead you all the way. They'll lead you all the way across the ridge. And once you get to the break and you get to the other side of the ridge, there is no cedars. And we found that they seem to be marking their way through with large white flat rocks, and they'll just lean them up against trees. And so you can just, you know, follow flat rock to flat rock up against these trees and get through the other part of the property. We found we've had rocks thrown, of course. One night there was we had a team of us out there. I think there was 5 of us, and Randy and 2 other fellows were to go up one side of the ridge. We were going to go down and around and the other side of the break and go up the other side of the ridge. And we were going to get in a position where we could see each other, you know, with thermals and whatnot. And we started at the base on Randy's side. So they immediately headed up. By the time they got to where they were going and sat down, got the thermal going, and was scanning across the other side, and they see me and the other fellow over there. And then moments later, I radio Randy and I say, "Hey, we're at the bottom getting ready to go up." And Randy's like, you're not up there? And I said, no. Well, he thought he was seeing me and the other fellow up there, and it wasn't. We were at the base. We had to go down away from Randy and the other guys, probably 600 yards, and go cut around a fence and go all the way back up through this clearing and then to the bottom of the ridge to go up. So by the time they got up and got situated, we were just getting to the base of our side.
Mm-hmm.
And, so he wasn't recording because he assumed it was me and the other guy, and turned out it wasn't. So, things like that happen. About these holes that I've been finding in the 400. I found them in Oklahoma. These holes have sticks in them. They're being dug with the stick. You can see the dirt on the end. And I kept quiet with that for a long time because I hadn't had other people with me to witness this. And, anybody could say I'm digging these holes. And anyway, long story short, we find them in the 400. We found them in Oklahoma. Me and Mary and her husband went out, 4 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that.
The property owner was taking us up to see some cedars that had been recently broken. And we kind of got off track because the guy that owns the property next to him, he thought he'd heard him up over and wanted to chat with him. Long story short, we went off track from that. We come across 2 holes that had been dug, and the stick was laying between the holes, dirt all over the end of it. A couple feet away, there was probably a 6-foot sapling that had been bent over and shoved up underneath a down tree that has been there for at least a couple of years.
Wow.
Like the sapling didn't go down when the tree went down, basically. And then we're standing there talking about this and, kind of assessing the situation, and Mary's trying to figure out what the hell's going on. We shouldn't be just walking up on evidence like this, this easily, I think.
Right.
And we're standing there assessing the situation and looking at this, and then up to the east of us, to the northeast of us, we got a clear knock. And so that tells me from our evidence at the 400 in Oklahoma that that should mean, as far as what we found, that there is a young one there, a very, very young one. That's one of the things we find when we're finding these smaller tracks and whatnot. And there was a lot of rocks that we came across too, large rocks that had been picked up and moved out of the hole that they've sat in, for some time. They weren't like drug out or flipped over. They were literally picked up and set aside. The bear will flip over rocks like that, but they'll flip them over or they'll drag them out of their hole, and you can see that that's happened. These are literally, there's nothing has been touched around where the rock is. They've literally been picked up and set aside.
Wow.
So we saw all that just a few weeks ago, and it's the first time Mary's been out there. We didn't even make it to the cedar trees that we were going to look for. At that point, it was like, okay, we're good. They're around,
Yeah. Plenty. Yeah, they're here.
Yeah. So that's kind of a synopsis of the property itself and what's happened out there and what's been going on. I think people really enjoy it. There's areas that people that don't want to get too crazy and hardcore, that we can take them and the property. And then there's the people that want to do most of the stuff that I'm going to be doing. They'll be able to fall right in with me and go have some fun doing a little bit more dangerous and fun stuff. So.
And the ones that want to be bait can go with Marty and I.
Yes. I'm gonna have that spot sitting and ready and waiting for you guys.
I'm gonna make me a t-shirt.
I want to be bait.
There is a sassafras patch waiting for you guys.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
It's got our name on it.
Yeah.
Krista says she wants to be bait. She wants to be bait, and I guarantee you, Brandy does too. So
the more, the better.
Be careful what you ask for.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be great.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
So then, it came time to, decide who the speakers were going to be, and of course, Mary asked me and Randy to speak again. I think she felt like she kind of had to because we've been helping, probably didn't want us to speak again, like 2 years in a row, kind of probably boring, but so she felt bad. So she asked me and Randy to speak again. And then we talked, and, I wanted some other people, but she kind of overrode me. And She went with Daniel Perez.
Wow.
And biologist John Morley out of Texas, and two really great, knowledgeable guys from kind of different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
Daniel's known for the Bigfoot Times, great magazine or paper, I should say, he's been doing since the 90s, I believe. And he's just a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the history. And he ran around with a lot of the old school big dogs, and got to interact one-on-one with a lot of those guys. So he's really knowledgeable on the history, and of course, because of the Bigfoot Times, he keeps up with all the current stuff. So he's I'm really excited actually to hear him and see what he brings to the table, because I'm sure I'm going to learn a lot of stuff that I didn't know when it comes to the history. And then John Morley is this guy. I had these phone conversations with him, and I have a dictionary sitting in my hands when I talk to him. And I think I video chatted him one day, and he saw me with the dictionary, so he realized he needed to dumb things down for me, so I could understand what he was talking about at times. And but I've learned a ton of stuff from John Morley already, and I'm really excited for him and what he's going to bring. He's actually going to be speaking twice. He's going to be speaking once on the language, and he's going to be speaking on the feet and the locomotion. And he's going to be bringing to light some things that, people whisper about in the background. He's going to be showing evidence of some things that will change kind of the thought process of how these things are looked at for the people who have seen them and have had, experiences and know these things are real.
Oh, that's amazing. I can't wait.
He's been working hard on this, and he's written a paper on it, and he's seen pictures of a lot of the juvenile tracks that we've been getting over the several years, and he's going to be bringing to light some things that we actually agree with and that our tracks show, and it's going to be going against the grain a little bit of how the community has kind of accepted what is what when it comes to the feet and how these things are built and how their feet are built. So it's going to be super interesting. I'm pumped for him. And then of course, Randy's got a lot of good stuff he's bringing to the table this year. And he's going to be talking about a lot of his, other research, and he'll talk about some of the 400 stuff too also, but I think he's focusing on a lot of his research that he's gotten in other parts of the Ozarks. Because I'm going to be focusing, of course, on the 400. So Randy's going to mix it up some and tell about some other great things that he's had happen and that he's done. And everybody knows, Randy he's a thinker, and he's constantly coming up with new tactics. And he comes up with so many tactics that we don't use probably 3/4 of them. He's thinking all the time, and we weed through them and pick out the best ones and go to town, and then we have me, and I'm going to be speaking on these holes and a few different things, of course, trackways. And this year, I'm actually going to be showing probably 12 different trackways that we've gotten in the 400. Some of them over 100 tracks in the trackways. I'll be showing trackways that are what we presume to be the mother's tracks going into the water in December. Big giant barefooted tracks in December going into the water. Things like that.
Nobody's going to be in the middle of winter out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then I'm going to be bringing up some audio that we captured last October, and I'm going to be pointing out some things in that audio that looks as though it matches some things that are in the Sierra Sounds, and just some random things. We have a knock. We found a spot where there was a rock on a down tree that had no bark on it. And the previous night we had recorded some knocks, and one of them was different in east of camp. And I took that recording, and after we found this spot, I did a knock myself right there. And anyway, on the spectrogram, they match. So we literally found where the knock came from the night before. So I'm going to be showing that. A lot of good stuff. I think the speakers are going to have a very good variety of things, and Mary did a good job picking these people out and narrowing it down, and it's going to be a very diverse sets of information, I think. So it's going to be awesome.
It is going to be awesome. I mean, just getting an opportunity to maybe hear something different, like you were talking about, John Morley is going to maybe bring something to the table at this conference that might be groundbreaking. I mean, that I can't wait for that. I mean, people talk about all the time. We all hear all these people chattering around, and they're like, there is nothing better than the PG film. You know what I mean? Like, that's all we have. Well, pay attention, people. Start paying attention. Start paying attention, because
that's not all we have. Yeah,
that is not all we have. That is not all we have. We have way more than that, and we have, the only thing where we lack, unfortunately, in this that part of the arena, is that researchers, serious researchers like yourself and Randy and Mary, and included in that, you just can't, you guys just aren't able to kind of be out front all the time with it 24/7. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of the weekenders can, you guys are out there, you're doing super serious type boots on the ground stuff. It's not like, like when I go out, I'm not a super serious researcher like you guys. You know what I mean? I research, but not in the same way you guys do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not out there writing down the temperature and the winds, and, like you guys like are super detailed and do that kind of thing. So it's great to be able to, like, Mary.
That's not me. That's Randy. Randy writes everything down.
No,
or my husband.
Actually, me and Randy are horrible. Yeah, me and Randy are horrible about that. I'm the worst. I'm the worst.
No, but it's important though, to hear, to come to these kind of conferences and hear other theories backed up by pure science, right?
Yeah. And that's what Morley's going to be doing. He's going to be backing everything up with pictures and evidence and
with the science.
Yeah. And
did you hear me, Randy? Did you hear me, Randy? With science.
Science. Also, I'll throw this out there too. We, as a lot of people know, we've been involved in a docu-series that's being filmed. We want to impress with the volume. Yes, absolutely. We've been involved in a docu-series that's being done. It started out kind of about, the research that me and Randy were doing, and it's developed into, like, it's kind of turned into about, being about me and Randy and our lives, and the research too, that's the most of it. But long story short, the film crew is going to be there filming the conference, and they're going to be filming the Campout. So it's I think that's going to make it a lot of fun for people also, knowing that their faces will most likely be on screen at some time with this, and all these locals that come out and non-locals, they get to come kind of be a part of that with us too. Like, of course, we've invited a lot of people that we enjoy. Like, I reached out and said, you have to come, Marty. It's just the way it is. You have to get your ass here for this.
You did. You were like, okay, I let you slide in March. You're not doing that this time. You're coming. I'm like, okay,
right. Yeah. And the March trip, actually, several of those people, actually, probably most of them are going to be here for this camp out too. So that makes it fun too. Like, there wasn't one person that came to the camp out down there that we didn't enjoy our time with. And, thought it was all just a bunch of great people and researchers. So almost all of them are going to be at this one also. So we're familiar with some of these people, and there's going to be new faces too. And I'm excited to meet those people, and it's going to be great.
They may wish they hadn't came after they meet us, but
possibly that's true. Also, they'd be like, man, I ain't going back to that one.
Not going to the woods with those people again.
Right.
We promise, Shane, Marianne, and I promise we will not break the universe. Okay, we promise. We're gonna promise.
We'll try.
Well,
everybody made it.
yeah.
Everybody made it safe out of Tennessee, so I'm assuming it'll probably be okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, yeah, this is going to be the second time in a few months I've been to Missouri. So I know I should just move there. I know. That's
Well,
all
Yeah,
I hear.
I second that. I second that. Move to Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Apparently I'm moving to Missouri, everybody.
Yeah, you're gonna love the forest here, or hate it, one or the other.
I love the vibes there. Like, I mean, I don't know. It just, I don't know. It felt like home. It really did. I mean, it's beautiful. It is so beautiful. And haven't even been down south really yet. So I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys got to help me with this. How do you say it? Missouri or Missouri?
I knew this was coming.
Marianne says Missouri.
It's Missouri.
It's Missouri.
It's Missouri.
Thank you.
Until you,
it's Missouri.
like you'll see that like when we go hiking, you ask us once we get down in the holler, and it changes. To
Oh
Missouri.
my God! Here we go.
And it changed to Missouri.
Yeah. Like up in the higher areas in the flats, it's Missouri. But once you get deep into the hollers, suddenly it's Missouri. It's weird.
Yeah. Well, what about the crick and the creek?
The crick.
Here we go.
No, that drives me
Stay on
nuts.
topic. Let's stay on topic.
No, we can't stay on topic.
Well, here it said, "Watch me."
Yeah.
So I want to say too that something else that Mary did this year that was a little different, and just to kind of add to things, and people always like getting free stuff, so we got quite a few sponsors this year, and all these sponsors sent us some a lot of awesome stuff, and Mary decided to do a raffle, and instead of charging people for tickets, because we got all this stuff for free from the sponsors, Mary's having a raffle, and everybody will get 10 tickets at the door. Mary?
Yeah, depending. It's all depend on my dog. Sorry, when you came in, like the people that are there for the extended, they're going to get more because they've paid more. They're going to get more tickets. Mm-hmm. And then the people that come in on Friday, you're going to get a certain amount of tickets. And then we're also going to have tickets at the conference itself. And then we're going to have it set up. I'd like to have it set up to where we have 3 or 5 different baskets, essentially. And you can put your tickets in whichever basket you want.
Like. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, we'll have extra tickets there if you want to. I mean, we'll have more to purchase if you want them, but we're going to give away a bunch of them.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thought on that.
Yeah. Show me Bigfoot, showme.com or showmebigfoot.com. He sent me a huge package of a bunch of stuff. And then Sasquatch Coffee sent us a big package, and actually the coffee we're going to be drinking out at the Campout is all going to be Sasquatch Coffee. They're providing the coffee for the Campout also, which is awesome. And then Bigfoot Sock Company sent us like a ton of socks.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
And Wendigo Black Tea sent a ton of their tea, which is it's phenomenal. I'm a tea drinker. Actually.
Oh, you and Krista, best buds already.
I was raised down in southern Missouri. I love my sweet tea, if you know what I mean.
He loves her sweet tea too.
And then Sasquatch barbecue sauce, Michael Cook. He's a lot of people know him. He's also a researcher. He's sent us a bunch of his barbecue sauce, and then we have Bigfootproducts.com. They have a variety of things. They sent us a bunch of CBD.
A bunch.
A bunch. I mean, it's a lot of people are going to get a bunch of free CBD. They just really totally hooked us up.
That's awesome.
And then there's some other things that we're not going to mention yet that we may surprise some people with, and but it's going to be awesome. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. Great speakers. Also, I should say that partially because we were filming this also for the docu-series, Mary decided to, you know, keep it small and not allow it to be too big and too overwhelming. So there is limited seating for this. So, you know, I would suggest getting your tickets ahead of time, and they're cheaper ahead of time also.
Yeah.
You know, save $10 getting them ahead of time. And I think there's a good possibility this year that it's going to be standing room only, and, you know, and at that point it is what it is. So,
and you guys are going to have vendors there as well, right? I know Krista and Brandy, they're going to have a vendor table. I think DA is also going to have a vendor table, and you're going to have, you have other vendors as well, right? So
yes. I think we don't have a great lot amount of vendors, but we have a few this year, more than we did last year. So it's just growing, but yes, we're definitely going to have some vendors there this year.
Oh man. Yeah, we really didn't I didn't allow Mary to focus too much on that side of things this year. Because I've been constantly in her ear, you know, as far as the Campout stuff goes, because like, and there's a lot that goes along with that, like legalities and whatnot also, because it's on private property, you know, like people have to sign non-disclosure agreements.
Yes.
Because the film crew is going to be there, so they have to sign waivers saying that they're okay with being on film. You know, and some people may not want to be on film with me and Randy. You know what I mean? Like they'd be like, "No, ain't embarrassing me." So there's because of the Campout and in that whole process, there's been a lot that's going into that side, and Mary, I don't know, I think you were kind of keeping the secret, but we are going to have porta potties there.
So, yes, we are.
So there ain't going to be like, there ain't going to be like 30 different holes, you know.
No, can't dig your own hole. No.
And yeah, so that's a bonus. You know, she let everybody know that it was primitive camping, and you know, just tents only, and this is out in the middle of nowhere, basically. You know?
Yeah, so. It is. When we drove up there, I was like, okay, we are in the boonies.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that's what makes this property special too, is its location and where it's at. And since we've, you know, I've known about this location for several years now, and throughout that time, we've gotten other sighting reports, you know, out in that vicinity and out in that area. And we just had an older lady that was taking a walk with her granddaughter and out on a dirt road out maybe 10 miles from this location, and they rounded a corner and there was one about 40 yards up ahead of them crossing the road.
Wow.
So it's like not uncommon, I'm finding, to get reports from out in that area. We just met with a couple that lives out in the area, and there's, you know, they know of some things that are going on, some odd things out in that area also. And they have a hunting area where it's about 1,700 acres, and there's several people, like family people, that hunt the area. And the past year and a half, there's been like 8 sightings out there from 8 different people. So it's just the amount of sightings out in this area is just ridiculous, and it's always kind of been known but unknown. Like, these sightings they go unreported. You know, a lot of these people that live out in these areas down here, they don't report them because it's been kind of passed down through the family that these things are out there and that they're real, and you know, somebody in the family has seen one, you know, so it's not such a big deal. And like, who wants to be the crazy Bigfoot person, you know?
Right.
Other than us 3. And,
yeah.
Pick me.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a hot area for sure. And that's, don't get me wrong, I'm super excited for the conference, but I'm super excited too to get some people out on this property and have that kind of fun with it also, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, now I did see, one second, I started, Naomi Finn opened a doubt. She wanted to know if you still had any vendor tables available, or we could
probably work on that. I also saw where Randy said something about food vendors. We don't have food vendors this year, but what we are going to do is my husband is going to smoke some pork, and we're going to provide sandwiches for our campees during the conference. And then we're going to try to have extra to sell sandwiches to everybody else too. It'll be like sandwiches, chips, a drink type thing.
Oh my gosh. That sounds so good.
We're trying to please.
We're trying to do enough to get people in and out and through there.
Hey man,
we don't want people to get grumpy and all that good stuff. And there will be free coffee throughout the whole conference provided by Sasquatch Coffee.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. And I did see, did I see? Let's see. Krista, she said, I had an encounter with something when I lived in Thayer, Missouri. It was some sort of creature scared my horses.
Yeah, I'm from West Plains, Missouri, actually. And I know exactly where Thayer is. We actually, for the people that know anything about my past, I'm an ex-martial artist. I shouldn't say ex, I'm still involved. But we had a gym affiliate in Thayer, Missouri, actually, years ago. So, yes, that area is thick. And, I mean, they're there. There's an area between Thayer and West Plains, actually, that is very hot that I know of.
We may end up, who knows, man, this is gonna, I don't even know, this is gonna be insane. This is gonna be like epic. I said it in the description earlier, like this is gonna be epic. Like this is gonna be so unique. You better copyright this formula recipe down now.
It's the conference and everything is already an LLC.
Good.
I did that first thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be, you're right, Chris.
Yeah, this is kind of a test run, I think, for me and Randy too. And if this goes well, of course we would love to do it bigger and better next year, and maybe not the camping part bigger, like you can only have so many people. So but at some point, maybe next year we'll get a few select people out in the 400 and do a little camp out there with maybe 10 people or something, but we want to definitely, like, how it is each year, you want to do something better. And
right.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Things seem to be happening, like working well for Mary when everything is happening on its own, and I think that's why it's going to be successful. She's kind of just let it happen, and it's all happened, so
yeah,
it's going to be good times. I'm so stoked and excited.
So what kind of activities is it that, because I know that you got a couple things, not the extended expedition, but the shorter expedition. I know that you got a couple of like things kind of planned. Can you talk about one or two of those just to kind of get a little bit more of an idea?
Which one of us are you talking to?
Either one of you.
Obviously you, Mary.
Well, no, Shane's the one doing the camp out. I know he's got some things planned. One of the things that I wanted to bring in, because like I said, I think teaching is so important. Because we've all, we've heard the stories, people don't want to share what they're doing, this, that, everything else. I get it. But I think it's very important. Like, I want to bring in just aluminum pans that are full of different kinds of soil, maybe a sandy soil, a rocky soil, something that's even muddy, and put the footprints in them. And we're going to cast them. We're going to teach people how to cast in these situations.
In the different substrates.
Yeah, because they don't always get that as hands-on. So, that kind of thing, we want to do that so they get it hands-on, so they know how to do it when they go do it themselves.
Right.
Who's going to teach that?
I wonder who's going to teach that. Look at the background. I'd say that'd be
The guy
your.
who's got hundreds of castings.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. Maybe Shane might show us a couple.
Yep.
Yeah, I can grab a couple.
All right. I knew that would work. I love him.
Right.
I knew that was the work. Although I do. I think his like it's super important, like to get that education. I mean, people are coming there to have an experience.
Exactly.
But, it's more than just that. It's education. It's boots on the ground experience. That's the difference, and what you guys are doing.
All right, let's see if I can get this one in the shot. So let me see here. So this was casted here in Missouri. That is a big mammoth jamma, as you can see. That is that's about 14 and a half, almost 15 inches. And that was a female.
That's a female.
Yeah, that's an adult female. And I have this particular track, this is the right foot, and this was almost a month after I first casted one of her tracks, and it was also the right foot. So I was fortunate enough to get another really good right foot. But the other one that I have, the heel, it was going uphill about a 30% grade, so the heel didn't sit completely down, so the heel looks thinner. But like you can see, these toes kind of have this angle on them, and the other track matches that. But Meldrum actually looked at him and he knew right away within minutes that it was from the same.
It was the same individual.
The shape was a little different, because the substrate was different. One was flat, one was going uphill. But that's one of my big mammoth jammas, and the ones that I've been most interested in are these, the juvenile tracks, because if you can cast the same set of tracks like over and over consistently, you can learn a lot of things, such as you can start getting a growth rate. You can see like the morphology changes in the feet as they grow, which for somebody like me, like I'm really into the tracks, so that's been kind of a big deal, a big part of this for me. So here is a juvenile track,
and
this one in particular, like this is one of my favorites here. I'm holding this pinky toe on, but this is one of my favorites because it was kind of clenching its toes somewhat.
So it was kind of like this, and
and you can see how the toes scrunch down in the mud. But this one and this other one I'm going to show you, actually, you can see the toenails on them.
Wow! And again, the arch.
There's that arch. Yes,
there's the arch.
Yes, you can see that there is an arch here. And if I hold it this away, you can see that there's somewhat of an arch here. So that's one of the things that we've kind of been focused on. This is the same foot, same individual. So this one created a ton of pushback, right? This track in particular, you see the pushback actually starts at the ball, and the pushback goes all the way back into the heel, right? I had these two were part of the same trackway, and the viscosity of the mud and the soil, the wet soil, changed throughout the trackway. So I've got these tracks where there's no pushback whatsoever, and then I have them in, looser mud where it was creating all this pushback. And at times the pushback comes from like this area, and at times it comes from the ball of the foot. So what we're seeing in these tracks is that there is a flexibility in the foot there, whether it's some kind of break or joint, that's a whole nother deal. I don't know, but we're seeing flexibility all throughout the bottom of the foot. Like it can almost bend anywhere to an extent. You can see these toes. If you look, I don't know if I'll be able to get it with the lighting or not, but let's see here. Maybe like this. Can't really see it, but this toe right here, it actually left the impression of the toenail, and the toenail actually hangs over the edge of the toe and folds over the end. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Oh, yeah.
You can see You can see a line right
Here,
here.
you
And
know
that
what? Let's see
line,
if I
that's
get
actually the
you.
separation between the toenail and the end of the toe itself.
Wow.
And same thing, the toes were kind of crunched when it stepped down, you know. So
Wow.
anyway, I could go on and
Amazing.
on. I could go on and on with tracks.
I know you can, but I love it though. You kidding me? I'm just all like, yeah. I love that.
Yeah, these tracks, actually there's probably the best tracks I've ever casted. Like the conditions were almost perfect.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the best they could have been, but they turned out really, really good. And we got a lot of detail. We actually have two of the castings that have hair in them. Like the hair is in the casting sticking out of the cast.
Wow.
We just chose to leave those there. And those are the tracks we don't let, people like really mess with and whatnot. But I'll have a big selection of these juvenile tracks at the conference for people to look at, and they're
Now,
free to hold them and check them out.
that particular individual, could you tell about how much that juvenile like weighed? I mean, I don't know, just from the
Um,
depth or I mean, do you have any
Not
idea?
really. It's hard to say weight wise. Like I haven't seen this individual. This is a new set of tracks. For the people that are familiar with the 400 situation, the juveniles
Mhm.
that we were dealing with for several years, they're not there anymore. We're not finding their tracks anymore. And the younger one that was there at the time is now. We believe that this is its tracks now. That it's as now that they've grown and moved on, the young one has also grown, and the growth rate that we were seeing in the other two juveniles tracks, it stays consistent with these tracks that we're finding now, that it would be the younger one that had 6-inch tracks back then. So
Right, right.
interestingly enough, it seems as though that it's still the same family unit. It's just two of the juveniles have gotten to possibly, we think they've gotten to age and moved on to do their own thing. And so now we're dealing
Mhm.
with this one that has 9.5, 10-inch tracks. And now there's another young one there that has 6-inch tracks, which is why we're finding those holes again that I brought up earlier.
Now I know that you did post on Facebook you took a cast of the handprint next the juvenile's handprint. Do you mind showing that?
I do have it, actually.
Cool.
So this one didn't turn out super great.
Let
You
me
can see
see
the
if I can.
fingers. You can see the fingers pretty decently, and
Um,
where the thumb poked in. The pictures would probably do it justice more, but that's probably the best angle. Like you can see, these are fingertips right here.
so it's tiny. That is such
Yeah,
a tiny little hand. I mean, that's like toddler size. Like it's
yeah,
a itty bitty one.
yeah.
Wow.
So this was left. Once again, I come across one of these holes, and I should say too that these holes are always dug. I always find them usually within 24 hours of a rain, which is just an
Right.
interesting thing. Also, we have no clue why they're being dug or why they're doing them, but this particular handprint, there was a hole had to stick in it, and the dirt that it had dug out of the hole, all this fresh dirt, it placed its left hand down in that dirt, a pile of it, partially, like 3/4 of the hand. The lower part of the palm I wasn't able to get, but it left this nice little handprint in that fresh dirt, and I had to block it off with some aluminum and whatnot because it was it was pitched and everything. It was kind of difficult to pour, but I did the best I could with it and got what I could out of it. But
I think you did pretty darn good there. Mary, I think he's worthy of teaching this whole casting class.
Right. I think I've got the right one to teach it.
Yeah, I think you picked good. You got a good
we'll
picker.
see. We'll see. I don't know if I'm good. I've just been fortunate enough to find a lot of tracks and have to cast a lot of them.
Oh, Mary, you and I are going to have so much fun with Shane.
Yep. We will.
Poor Shane.
I ain't scared. Bring it. I'll leave your ass out in the woods. I wouldn't do that. Just
Is that a promise?
It
Is
was
that
a
promise?
joke.
I don't know. I might like it. I may not want to come home. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not that hard to find your way out. It's okay.
I won't unless you ask me to. If you ask me to, I'm in. But
you're like, here, write this down, Marty, in your own handwriting. You asked me to leave you here.
Right. Sign this contract.
Right.
So, yeah. Matt, I swear she's the one that wanted me to leave.
Well, another thing too is like Randy's going to have, his awesome drone out there, the thermal drone. So he'll be able to do sweeps at night. So anybody that's interested in that side of things that hasn't seen one, or, wants to know how they work or see them in action, all that good stuff. Randy will be using the drone at times. We've got me and Randy both have our thermals. And then a lot of the people that are coming have their own equipment too. They have thermals and night vision and whatnot. So there's going to be quite a few people out there, at the Campout that has some worthy equipment. Yeah. So it's going to make our odds even better,
Yeah.
We'll be doing everything.
I'm going to bring a couple things, nothing crazy, just a couple things. So,
yeah.
But,
a lot of times I'll pass my thermal off to like whoever's next to me. And because like I'm the guy, like if we have a heat signature, like me and Randy, like we're not just going to film it and then not go figure out what it is. Like if we're filming something and we can't figure out what it is, then
you're like,
I go out and and figure it out. And I typically will do that with no cameras or anything. And Randy films me doing it, because God forbid I don't, I get scared and throw my camera at a Sasquatch or a bear or whatever, like as long as somebody else gets it on film, we're good.
Right. And that's definitely, gonna be Randy. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think last time Mary was out with us in Oklahoma, I think I did that to her. I was like, "Here, take my camera, play with this. I'm out."
He did. He ran off.
And I took off out into the brush.
But then Randy found a heat signature, and nobody would go in the woods. And I'm like, "Okay, here, hold my toy. I'm going in the woods now."
Come on, Mary.
Yeah. Drag me along. I'll go anywhere.
That's right. Well, let's talk a little bit about listen, you're not just an event coordinator here. I mean, you're a boots on the ground researcher.
Mary's been busy, and a lot of people don't know who she is in the research area. But she's kind of like me and Randy. She's kind of been floating under the radar for quite some time, just doing her thing, involved in a few different things. And I'll shut up and let you talk about it now. How about that?
You don't have to shut up. You're doing a good job.
I just had to say that, like I like to give credit where credit's due.
That's it.
Well, I don't know. When I see a need, it's like, okay, we need to fix this. We didn't have a conference, so why not? And, I think these expeditions may grow into something because there's an interest. And if we can do things a little differently from what they have been done in the past with other people, and teach proper ways to do things. Like I said, I'm all about teaching, what we have learned and know works, we're going to pass it on and teach it. Yeah. So that's kind of what we're all about. And I haven't been researching or investigating or whatever you want to call it as long as Shane has. I've only been doing it since 2018. So he's got a little time on me, but yeah, I've seen him first time out, and I was hooked, and I will do this until I can't do this.
That's my girl. Yeah. Love it.
I hear ya.
Yep.
I hear ya.
I'm hooked on it. It has now become an official obsession. I mean, look, I'm doing a conference. Is this not become an official obsession?
It's a life. It's a lifestyle. I know that a lot of people don't, I know a lot of people don't quite understand that, but it does become for us at some point. It's a lifestyle. It
It's very
really
much.
is. It's not just a passion. It does become a lifestyle for us.
It does. It does. I've went as far as I've tattooed Bigfoot on my body. So
I have not done that yet, although I feel that in my future.
so I'll show you later. I'll show you at the conference. Okay.
All right.
I can't
Give me
show you
some
mine.
ideas, girl.
I can't show you mine.
Yeah, whatever.
Well, I don't know. Is Randy going to show us his?
I don't know. Randy's got a bathing station, so we may see his.
We might.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah. Speaking of bathing station, just so the campers know, the homeowner. So this is a homesteaded property. The homeowner has set up an outdoor shower. It is enclosed, so like people will be able to take quick showers if they want to. Also, so it's not going to be we said it was going to be very rudimentary and
primitive.
But I think having a shower, just even if it's just a nice warm day and we've been sweating, we can jump in and rinse off. It'll be a big help. And
yeah, because otherwise, all of us ladies are going to have on so much perfume, and it's not going to be pretty.
The field area that we're going to be camping in. There is a water spigot. It's a running water spigot. Now the landowner did say it's probably not anything you really want to drink out of, but it's completely fine to wash down, stick your head under, whatever, that kind of stuff. But he didn't think, it probably wouldn't hurt you to drink it. It's a spring.
He's tapped into a spring out there, and he supplies all the water on the property with these springs. And but his, like for his house, for his home, it goes through a filtration system. Yeah.
So we've got water, we've got porta potties. I
just want to say that if you drink the water, it's on you. If you're in your britches, don't come hollering at me for help or blame me because I ain't drinking the water.
There'll be no help. No help.
No.
He's like, I'm going researching later.
Yeah.
He'll be like, is that a Sasquatch?
Exactly.
Oh, no. That's you drank the water.
You drank the water. Oh.
I love it. Let me just pull this up real quick here. I just want to.
But back on a serious note, I do want to say again, I just want to reiterate that the other speakers besides me are awesome. They're going to have great content, a lot of different subjects within the subject. And as far as John Morley goes, he doesn't get out and speak a lot, actually. So I think Daniel Perez was excited that he was coming and going to get to hear Mr. Morley speak. They've met, I believe, previously, but it was a long time ago. So the people that make this and get to hear Mr. Morley talk and hear what he has to say, this may be something that he doesn't get out and do anymore after this, for all we know.
Right.
So it's, you better get it while the getting's good.
Absolutely.
If I wasn't speaking, I would still be there because Mary would make me.
Yes.
But I would still come just to see Daniel Perez and Morley and Randy Harrington. If I had nothing to do with this, it's like, to me, it's almost kind of I hate to use the word dream team, but I think it's just like, these are three speakers that you don't get to see on what they call the speaker circuit,
Exactly. And that's what makes, exactly. Not just the expedition, but you're right. The speakers as well. You're not going to see these speakers at some of the other conferences around the country. So this is going to be exclusive to this particular conference. So I have a little ticker down here on the screen. Marianne's email is there if you have any questions, and it's on Facebook. It's Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference and Expedition, right? You've got that. and I know I've been sharing it out, and I think Krista's been sharing it out also on her Facebook page. And so if you're guys anywhere near Ozark, Missouri, either one, please get your tickets ahead of time. $25 advance tickets, and then $35 at the door. It's Saturday, September 16th. Please come out and see these amazing speakers.
Yeah, I want to mention too. I want to mention too that I think as far as the locals, like there's quite a few local groups on Facebook that have to do with Southern Missouri and Southwestern Missouri and Northern Arkansas, and like more than anything, like I'm hoping all those people come because it's local. Like me and Randy, everything that we talk about in our presentations is all going to be like driven towards the local people and things that are happening right here in the Ozarks. So I think that's the coolest part about what Mary is trying to do with this. She's like, even if me and Randy aren't involved or speaking, I think she always wants to keep some local flavor in there, because that's a big portion of it is the locals that are going to come that are interested in this. And we want to let them know that, hey, this is not only real, but it's happening all over the Ozarks. And we have, it looks to be that we have a very, very big population here compared to most states. And that I think there's more people here also that once this becomes a little more normal and people aren't afraid to talk about it, I think we're going to get even more reports that haven't been told. Like the past year, I've had more people reach out to me in the past year than I have ever. And I think it's just because I've allowed my name to kind of get out there a little bit now at this point. And so I think it's just going to continue to grow, and we're going to keep getting more reports and more reports. So that's.
I was going to ask this question, but Randy beat me to it. What about merch? Are we going to have merch?
Yeah, we're actually going to have some things that we'll have out for sale. We have some shirts. Me and Randy are, even though we're very serious researchers, we're kind of we have these moments where we're just alone a lot researching, so we have a lot of comedic moments, or at least things that we think are funny. So shut up, Mary. So like we're kind of we got a series of shirts that we're starting, and a lot of these shirts are kind of comedic and kind of fall in line with our attitudes and with
love it.
Who we are. So we're gonna have a few shirts for sale, and that one may be like just chill and serious, but the others will be like kind of stupid and comedic. So
hey man, I am all about it. I love all that good stuff. Like Krista, we got to bring extra money. Krista, Brandy, bring extra money.
Well, of course, you've got to get your conference T-shirts. We're going to have those too, because all that goes toward us being able to do another conference next year.
That's right. Absolutely. Because we want this to be an annual thing for sure.
Yes,
or
we do.
More than one a year, but I don't know how much time Mary has, but
How about one conference a year with multiple expeditions?
That I like.
Okay. I think we can do that.
I think we can. Love it.
Yeah, I couldn't do a conference like this. I don't know if I could deal with all sides of this like she's been having to do, and like dealing with me. She's been having to deal with me too. It makes it even crazier and more off the wall, So
are you getting those 2 a.m. calls, Mary, in the morning? He's like, hey, what about this?
No, I turned my phone off after 10 o'clock, so he can't call me.
I figured out pretty early on she was shutting her phone off, so I quit.
Okay. He's like, oh man, she's shutting her phone off again.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like after this conference is over and whatnot, she'll probably block me for like a couple of weeks, But that's cool because I probably won't want to talk to her either for a while.
Right. I've been in the woods with you all weekend. That's enough.
Hey.
You're like, I need a break.
Yeah, I need to breathe.
Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to plug before we go? I don't want to keep you guys all night. I'm thankful, so thankful for you guys coming on tonight. I've been trying to, me and Krista and Brandy, we've been promoting this, and I just believe in it so much. And even if I wasn't going, I would so be there just like in spirit if I wasn't going, because I just believe in what you're trying to do, and I think it's so important that it's not about accolades and names and the neon lights. It's about education and awareness, and it's a different kind of thing. And I'm just so blessed to be able to be coming and be a very tiny part of it. And thank you, Mary. Thank you for everything that you've been doing.
For promoting it, because that's what we need. We need people to promote it for us so that we are hitting a bigger audience and more people know what we're doing, that it's not just, like you said, it's not the glitz, the glam. We're serious about teaching and sharing and getting everybody involved.
Yeah. And
I can't wait to meet you, and I'm just glad you're coming so that like you'll take up Mary's time and she'll leave me alone. And I just want to say too that Pancho Zorch said or I shouldn't say he, I don't know if it's a man or a woman, but they're a supporter of full body pantyhose. So I hope that Pancho's coming to the Campout.
He's not.
Okay, well,
he'll have to wear that to the conference.
Fair enough.
Do you know Pancho?
No. I saw it in the comments. I thought it was funny. So I'd throw that out there. I tell you this: if Pancho shows up, we're all going to know who Pancho is as soon as they walk in.
Right?
Yeah. That's true. That's 100% true. And if Pancho starts any trouble in his lady stockings, Shane will show you to the door, honey. Real quick. Oh goodness. And this has been so much fun. Thank you guys so much. Mary, you got to come back and be a guest on my show, and let's get into some of your, let's dive deep into some of your boots on the ground and some of your experiences and encounters, and I'd love to have you back for that for sure.
Anytime. You just tell me when.
All
That'd
right.
be good, because when I'm on with her, I try not to let her talk too much.
Because you can tell who has the problem talking here. He's just trying to keep me on topic because we deep dive into everything. It's not just Bigfoot.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, he and I do too. I mean, I don't. So many different topics.
That's why I said you guys will hit it off.
Yep.
And you did. So
he's like, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing that I'm going to introduce you to Mary Ann.
Well, I mean, for me, it's going to be good because I get to see the chaos of it. And,
oh, you're going to sit back with the popcorn and be like,
yeah. No, I just knew you guys would hit it off. So I'm glad. Yeah. I'm glad I've got to put you two together because I think you guys are going to have a blast together.
We are. Oh my gosh. Yeah. We are. Oh, we are.
It's all going to be fun.
For sure. So do you guys have a few minutes to wait backstage for me? Just for a couple of minutes? Let me say goodnight to everybody.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys so much.
Ozark Mountain Bigfoot Conference.
Woo!
On Facebook.
Woo! Wow, guys. Talk about an amazing time we're going to have at this conference and expedition. Make sure, see the little ticker down there. Get your advance tickets, $25 or the $35 at the door. Space is limited. And if you have any questions, just email Mary Ann. I've got her email right there in the little ticker. Send her an email or reach out to her on Facebook. And with that, we are going to have tomorrow. I'm sorry, guys. I have to look at my list because unfortunately I got so many things going on. I had to write them all down. All right. So tomorrow I have tomorrow on the 28th at 8 o'clock, I have Wayne Tolthero coming from Paranormal Odyssey. And then on Tuesday, I have Greg Ogles from Relic Films, and we're going to be discussing his documentary called The Legend of the Downy Booger. So definitely, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Please remember to do what? Spread love and kindness wherever you go.